Smith, the longtime CEO. Let's put on screen part of what he said to you in an email message. This was kind of wild. You went ahead and published this for New York Magazine recently. He said to you that the print media is so left-wing as to be meaningless dribble, which accounts for why the industry is and will fade away. Just no credibility. What did this tell you about Sinclair's bent?
Well, they need a copy editor, first of all. I think he meant I think he meant meaningless drivel. But it is pretty shocking to see. It's not shocking anymore to us to hear from a far-right politician, somebody running for office, these very anti-media sentiments, but from a very prominent, powerful media executive in America, which he is, even if he is sort of under the radar, he was until recently. It's shocking to hear something so just a blanket statement condemning the media. And you know, I had been talking to people at Sinclair in the fall, and at the time, the big issue were those must-run segments that they would air overnight. People were embarrassed by them, and when he said that to me, I didn't quite know what to make of it. And Deadspin, I think it's pretty extraordinary the way that Deadspin, with this viral video, was able to turn this into a mainstream story, this kind of obscure, difficult to understand thing about contracts and
local markets
and how important local news is. You know, like my Aunt Diane watches a woman named Jamie Stelter every day, it's very important to her.
Well, look, I'm always reminded by my wife, by her work in New York here, that local journalism has such an effect, an emotional connection to people.
Exactly.
When they stop her on the street, it's because they spend every morning with her.
Exactly. You develop a relationship with the people who are giving you the weather, the traffic report, telling you about local crimes. And so I think the way that this has morphed into this very mainstream story that we're talking about in the way that we are now is pretty extraordinary. And also that the president chimed in the way that he did.
And took Sinclair's side.
Exactly. It's alarming. It's very, very alarming.
Jonathan, real quick, what do you want to see Sinclair do differently? Just if you could give advice right now to the head of the company.
I'd tell them to pull their head out of their ass and start treating their employees well. I mean,
Jonathan,
when I was with Sinclair, it was a culture of misogyny and xenophobia, and I don't want to see my former colleagues who are still working for Sinclair continue to sustain that. And furthermore, I want the young journalists to know out there that, hey, look at who you're applying for when it comes to jobs and do your research. Same with the people who watch in all of these small to mid-sized markets in the U.S. So I would tell Sinclair to get their act together.
Jonathan, thanks for being here. Olivia, thanks for sticking around. And